Have you ever met a woman everyone admired? The one people called intelligent, calm, successful. The woman everyone trusted to make the right decisions. Then one day, you discovered she had stayed in a relationship, friendship, or family dynamic that slowly broke her confidence. The question isn't why she didn't see the red flags. The real question is, why did she keep explaining them away? Today, we're not investigating a toxic person. We're understanding a brilliant mind. Meet Eva, a respected marketing strategist in Seattle. She could spot tiny mistakes in million-dollar campaigns. Coworkers admired her judgment. Clients trusted her instincts. Her best friend Mia often joked, "If I ever make a bad decision, I'm calling you first." Eva laughed, "I charge by the hour." Everyone laughed. No one knew there was one place where Ava no longer trusted her own instincts. Office Monday morning. Coffee machines hissed. Phones rang. Deadlines filled every screen. Jake walked over. "Big presentation today. Ready?" "Always." She sounded confident. Then her phone lit up. Nothing. No message from Ethan. For just half a second, her smile disappeared. Then she straightened her shoulders and walked into the meeting as if nothing had happened. Have you ever noticed how emotionally strong people often become experts at hiding emotional uncertainty? That evening, Mia watched Eva stir her coffee without taking a sip. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "When was the last time you felt completely relaxed around Ethan?" Eva paused. "I don't know." It was the first honest answer she'd given all day. Mia didn't tell her to leave. She simply asked another question. "When did love start feeling like a performance review?" Ava forced a smile. "He's just under pressure." Mia nodded quietly. She'd heard that sentence before. That sentence matters. He's just under pressure. Not because it was true or false, because Eva's brain had already begun replacing observation with explanation. Every canceled plan became stress. Every forgotten promise became bad timing. Every uncomfortable feeling became self-doubt. And that is where our story truly begins. Because the first red flag isn't always another person's behavior. Sometimes it's the story your own mind writes to make the behavior easier to accept. The next morning, Eva replayed Mia's question during her commute. "When was the last time you felt completely relaxed around Ethan?" She couldn't answer it. Instead, she opened their old photos. Weekend trips, inside jokes, late-night phone calls. Her brain didn't search for today's reality. It searched for yesterday's comfort. Our minds rarely compare reality with reality. They compare reality with memories. Just before lunch, Ethan finally called, "I'm sorry, I've been overwhelmed." "I hate making you feel ignored." "I promise this weekend is ours." His voice was gentle. He remembered her presentation. He congratulated her. For a few minutes, Eva felt seen again. The anxiety disappeared almost instantly. Not because the problem was solved, because hope had returned. Jake noticed the change immediately. "Good news?" Eva smiled. "Everything's okay." Jake nodded. Funny thing about that answer. People usually say it when everything isn't okay. Ava laughed, but the comment stayed with her for the rest of the day. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. Once your brain decides someone is loving, it naturally gives more attention to evidence that supports that belief. One thoughtful text becomes proof. One apology becomes evidence. Meanwhile, repeated disappointment slowly fades into the background. This isn't a lack of intelligence. It's the brain protecting emotional consistency. The same pattern appeared with Eva's college friend Chloe. Chloe canceled plans over and over. Then one day she arrived with a thoughtful birthday gift. Eva immediately told herself, She's always been there for me. One kind gesture erased months of imbalance. Different relationship, same psychological pattern. That evening, Ava stood outside her apartment. She suddenly realized something. She could list every excuse she had made for Ethan, but she couldn't remember the last excuse Ethan had made for her. For the first time, the pattern became louder than the promise. And once the pattern becomes visible, your mind faces a painful choice: protect the relationship or protect the truth. Most people believe healing begins when someone finally changes. Psychology suggests something else. Healing often begins the moment you stop asking, "How can I fix them?" and start asking, "Why am I working so hard to explain what keeps hurting me?" Eva wasn't there yet, but for the first time, she was getting close. Sunday evening, Ava visited her parents. The conversation was warm. Her father talked about retirement. Her mother asked about work. Then, almost casually, she asked, "Do you laugh as much as you used to?" Ava looked surprised. "Why would you ask that?" "Because you used to smile with your eyes." No one said another word. Sometimes the people who love us notice our exhaustion before we do. That night, Eva opened an old journal. She had written, "I feel like I'm waiting for things to become what they were." That sentence reveals another psychological trap: the sunk cost fallacy. The more time, energy, and hope we invest, the harder it becomes to leave. Not because staying feels good, because leaving makes the investment feel painful. On Tuesday, Eva watched a coworker defend a project that had clearly failed. After the meeting, Jake smiled. "Funny how we protect things we've already invested in." Eva froze. He wasn't talking about Ethan, but somehow it felt like he was. Driving home, Eva asked herself a question she had avoided for months. If I met Ethan today, knowing everything I know now, would I choose this relationship? She couldn't answer. Silence was answer enough. But the deepest trap still hasn't appeared. Because sometimes people don't stay because they're hopeful. They stay because unpredictable love becomes emotionally addictive. And once that cycle begins, logic alone is rarely enough to break it. 3 days passed. No calls, no messages, no explanation. At first, Eva felt frustrated, then concerned, then guilty. She caught herself thinking, maybe I'm expecting too much. Notice what happened. Nothing changed in Ethan's behavior. The story changed inside Eva's mind. On Friday evening, Ethan finally called. "I've missed you. I'm sorry. I've had the worst week." For the next hour, he was warm, funny, and attentive. He remembered small details. He made Eva laugh. By the end of the call, the loneliness of the previous 3 days almost disappeared. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. The brain becomes attached to unpredictable rewards: a text after days of silence, a compliment after constant criticism, affection that arrives just often enough to keep hope alive. It isn't love that becomes addictive, it's uncertainty. The same pattern appears everywhere. A friend who ignores you for weeks then suddenly says, "You're the only one who understands me." A parent who rarely shows affection, but occasionally says, "I'm proud of you." A manager who constantly dismisses you, then unexpectedly praises you in front of everyone. Different relationships, the same emotional cycle. That night, Eva sat alone on her apartment balcony. She opened her notes app and typed one sentence. "I keep celebrating moments that should have been normal." She stared at those words for a long time. For the first time, she wasn't looking for another excuse. She was looking for the truth. The final step isn't learning how to spot red flags. It's learning why intelligent people sometimes ignore their own intuition. And that realization changes everything. The following Monday, Eva arrived at work earlier than usual. Instead of opening her inbox, she opened the note she had written the night before. I keep celebrating moments that should have been normal. She read it again. Then she added another sentence. I have been measuring love by relief, not by peace. For the first time in months, she wasn't thinking about how to save the relationship. She was trying to understand herself. This is where many intelligent women finally see the truth. Red flags were never completely invisible. Their own empathy, hope, and imagination kept translating repeated patterns into temporary exceptions. Empathy is beautiful, but empathy without boundaries slowly becomes self-abandonment. That evening, Ethan called. I know I haven't been the partner you deserve. I need more time. Months ago, Eva would have accepted another promise. This time she answered calmly, I truly hope you become the person you want to be, but I can't build my future on potential. I have to build it on patterns. There was no shouting, no dramatic ending, only quiet clarity. Eva later realized something unexpected. The relationship had not taught her how to recognize red flags. It had taught her how often she ignored her own intuition. That lesson changed every relationship in her life. She set healthier boundaries with friends. She stopped apologizing for saying no. She became more honest with her family. At work, she no longer confused being agreeable with being respected. If today's story reminded you of someone, don't ask only, are they a good person? Ask a deeper question. How do I consistently feel after spending time with them? Healthy relationships leave you feeling emotionally safe, more often than emotionally confused. Remember this. People can have good intentions and still create unhealthy patterns. And love should never require you to repeatedly ignore your own reality. If this story made you pause and think, subscribe for more psychology stories that help you understand yourself and the people around you. I'm Nipa. Thank you for watching. See you soon.